Get this figure and more at the Big Bad Toy Store, links in the description. Hey, my name is Jobby, and according to a very reliable source, the world ends today. Finally. So before Planet Nibiru crashes into the Earth or Rocket Man decides to launch the nukes, why don't we sit back and talk about our big black friend here? The MakeToys Thunder Erebus is a repaint of the MakeToys Thunder Manus, which is a third-party representation of the Powermaster Optimus Prime, also known as God Jinrai for those of you who haven't touched the real butt. And I gotta be honest, I mean, when do I not have to be honest? I'm not the biggest fan of the very popular Powermaster design. It's just too excessive for my taste. It's a tiny Optimus Prime that gets shoved into a bigger Optimus Prime, nothing to see here. But that's where I'm mistaken, because this figure is a bit special. Despite with the incredible artwork on the box and on this included card might tell you, this big guy is not Thunder Erebus. The painting and the sculpting on this figure is awesome. Thunder Erebus, Erebus, I don't really care about pronunciation at this point, is essentially a small-scale black version of the Optimus Prime that we all know and love. Now before all of you actually people decide to poke your heads out of your mother's crevices, I'm quite aware of the character of Black Convoy, aka Scourge, aka Nemesis Prime. He's from that one Michael Bay movie, right? This color scheme works surprisingly well for this design. The black and red just looks a lot more subtle and sinister, as opposed to the more loud and gaudy colors of the original figure. Get it? Gaudy? Sounds kind of like God. Ginrai? I'm glad I don't have to live with myself after today. And even though there's a lot to look at on this guy, something that really stands out for me are the eyes. The blue of the eyes works so well against the black. Not to mention this head sculpt is one of the best Optimus head sculpts since the PlayStation Optimus Prime and Masterpiece Optimus Prime. The blue just works so well. But what doesn't work so well for me is the back of the figure, mamma mia. Now I can't complain too much because of the size of the figure, but it's kind of disappointing considering the engineering of the rest of the set is brilliant. I don't know, it could have been tucked away a bit better, I guess. I do appreciate that the mechanical detail behind these transparent windows is very similar to the detail on his tits. So this guy comes with a few accessories. You get a pair of what looks to be Cybertronian submachine guns, plugs into his hand very nicely, and that looks awesome. You could even plug them onto its back, but that's just something I made up, it's not in the instructions. And you get what is essentially a mini-con. And to my knowledge, this guy doesn't have a third-party name, and I don't know the character's official name, so I'm just gonna call him Corey. Yeah, we'll go with that. And the painting and sculpting on Corey is actually really good. And I say actually in this case because the figure is so damn tiny that it's a surprise that the mechanical detail is so precise. These crazy bastards even managed to paint these tiny details. But just like Thunder Erebus himself, the back of this little guy is kibble cancer. And again, I can't be too harsh on the figure because of the size of it. But unlike Thunder Erebus, I can give this figure a complete pass because anything more complex than this would make me want to die. Now what's even more insane about Corey is the fact that he actually has some posability. The head doesn't move, but you do get a rotation at the arm. Arm moves out. Ball joint at the hip allows for a rotation. Can move back, not that far. Beautiful spread. And a bend at the knee. And no foot posability, but the ankles are sculpted at an angle, so it kind of simulates a pivot. Posability on this guy is not the best, but it's amazing that they included posability for this small of a figure at all. But you may have noticed that this guy is lacking something very important. No bend at the elbow. Ball joint at the head. Can't look up that far and look down that far. Rotation at the arm. Arm moves out. This joint is actually a ball joint, and that allows for a bicep swivel. Bend at the elbow. Wrist swivel. No waist swivel at first. But if you come to the back, lift this whole part up. Now you get a waist swivel. These tires can't move out. Allows for a beautiful thigh swivel. A very high kick. And can't move back that far. Bend at the knee. Ankle moves up and down, and you get a beautiful pivot. But let's not lie to ourselves. This pivot is pretty much a swivel here. Posability on this guy is fantastic. Kind of a shame that only a third-party company would make a figure of this size that can kneel. Come on, step it up. As for the size of these figures, did I mention that these guys are pretty dang small? Here's Figma Modic Economy, SH Monster Arts Godzilla, Masterpiece Optimus Prime, and Masterpiece Optimus Prime. I mean, what else did you expect? While Corey is more of a cute novelty figure, Thunder Erebus is a fantastic figure in itself. And honestly, if these guys were in a 2-pack for like $10, I would recommend them. But if you were actually watching the beginning of the video instead of picking your belly button, you would have realized that this guy comes with a few more accessories to get to the main point of the set. And what better soundtrack to the end of the world than some royalty-free jazz? And after a pathetic excuse for a combination, you get the what I guess I can call the Powermaster mode. And oh my god, the painting and sculpting on this figure is amazing. That sinister Nemesis Prime color scheme works so well for this elegantly excessive design. He's solid, intimidating, and filled to the brim with mechanical detail. There really is no boring area of the figure. Every surface is so dense. And even though he is kind of a chunky boy, there's still an incredible feeling of flow to the design. And I think that has a lot to do with the anime-esque proportions. And by that I mean long legs compared to a short torso. The head sculpt is also fantastic. It's not the classic Optimus Prime head, but it's a great variant. But just like the smaller Thunder Erebus figure, the back kibble is a bit obvious, and the butt flap is kind of annoying. But it's a lot less intrusive than the other case. There's also a ton of detail to enjoy here. And it's not like this back kibble is there for no reason. It actually serves a practical purpose. Just slide those into his hands and this looks... I love it. I also love how the smaller guns plug into the bigger guns, which guarantees that you'll never lose them. The cannons on his shoulders can also rotate to act as secondary weapons, and that's a great reinterpretation of his classic smokestacks. Now, besides the back kibble, there is another aspect of the figure that I take issue with. The feet are a little bit unwieldy. I mean, these goddamn heels look like entirely new feet on their own, but I guess you could always convert them into shoes, and never mind, that looks dumb. Now, something as large and bulky as this design doesn't need a lot of articulation, but you know what? MakeToys gave it to us anyway. Thank you so much. Ball joint at the head. Look up that far, look down that far. Rotation. Moves out. Swivel here. More rotation. Bend at the elbow. Another bend. Fingers can open and he can point. Ratcheting waist swivel. More figures need this. A ratcheting ab crunch. Ball joint at the skirt that allows it to move forward. And that allows for a high amount of rotation. And the butt flap can move out of the way so the leg can move back that far. Side skirts move out. But regardless of whether the side skirts are moved out or not, you still get a thigh swivel. Bend at the knee. Up and down at the ankle. And a wonderfully ratcheted pivot. And there's this hinge joint here. So visibility on this mode is a lot more than I expected. And because the feet are so wide and the figure is so straight, that guarantees that the figure is easy to stand up in a variety of poses. And even though the figure is not completely to scale with most Masterpiece style Transformers, he's still a big boy. Godzilla Prime. And if this was all there was to the set, I would highly recommend it. But our good friends at MakeToys are determined to make you scream while you cream. And here we have the... And here we have the truck mode with the biggest goddamn tractor trailer I've ever seen. It's kind of underwhelming that after a series of complicated transformation steps, all you get is pretty much a glorified rectangle. But it's a highly detailed and beautifully painted rectangle. I love how well everything fits together. And there's practically no kibble on this thing. You could barely tell that this was a giant robot. And the way the panels come together to make this classic Optimus Prime trailer stripe, pretty dang brilliant. As for the truck itself, which you can easily unhitch and remove that, looks great, but there's really nothing new to say. It's a black Optimus Prime. And if I really had to complain about something, is the fact that the hitch here is not the tightest connection. But if it were too tight, you wouldn't be able to roll this whole thing as well. This thing is nice to hold, it's very... It's just a big box with wheels. And when I say it's a big box, I mean it. Here's Godzilla Prime. It would have been neat if this trailer could hitch on to Masterpiece Optimus Prime in some way, but I'm stretching for complaints. There's so little to be upset about in this set, because overall, this figure's amazing. It's posable, sexy, and shockingly affordable for a third-party figure. And of course, this is a listing from the Big Bad Toy Store. Again, I gotta say, Big Bad Toy Store is one of the best places you can get Transformers figures, third-party or not. And because this was my first MakeToys figure, I'm completely sold on any future figures they produce. Thank you so much for raping my wallet. If you're a Transformers fan looking to treat yourself before the world ends, the MakeToys Thunder Erebus is not a bad choice. So, this is it, huh? I apologize for wasting the last few minutes of your time here when you could have been with your family and friends, but if you watch this, I'm glad you did. And I'm glad about everything I've done until this point. So bring it on, Nibiru, you North Korean fuck. I've had a good run. Thank you to all my family and friends, and thank you to you guys for making this crazy ride worthwhile. And I'll see you whenever I see you. Goodbye. What? Why don't I feel the sweet embrace of nothingness? What do you mean Fox is not a good source of facts? God damn. I'll see you next time. Will I love you?